Hi there, welcome to another edition of the Akashic Portal with the Illumination of the Week from the Illuminating Journey Cards. And I'm your host, Jen Deshen of jendeshen.com. And of course, we're using the Illuminating Journey Cards that are already prepared for this week, March 9th through the 15th. 2020. So we're galloping along. We're already in the third of the month. Of course, March being a 7 universal month in a 4 universal year is very introspective, as well as remembering we have a full moon tomorrow on the 9th. We have Friday the 13th that I know some people still are afraid of, but actually I love to embrace the energy of the 13, which is very much the goddess energy, the energy of fulfillment in the sense of our own realization that we can shift into a new place, right? Through transformation, through the things that are happening around us. We get to see that these are merely vehicles to transform some of our old hidden belief systems. And Mercury comes out of retrograde just after minutes after the full moon is exact. So a very exciting time as we are pulled deeper into the exploration of who we are, what we value, what we want to focus on. And there's certainly a lot of things happening in the world outside that are calling our attention. So what are you giving your attention to? So the cards are prepared. I already asked what do we need to know for this week, and so I'm just going to begin. So this card that has shown up many, many times shows up again, the 3, Soul Portal number 3. And actually when I'm looking at this card right now, I feel emotion coming up inside of me. I can feel my throat clogging up, I can feel energy in my heart coming up. Because it feels, when I look at the card and when I listen to the emotion coming up, it feels very spiritual, but it also feels maybe daring in a sense, because here we are, if we put ourselves in the place of this representative, right? That is us, kind of swimming up to the light, to the energy of what is whole and complete, and there's a fire burning. This energy of ritual and this energy of transformation is very present in our being, in our experience, that we can now step into that place of feeling completely willing to rise above, to allow the energy of our heart, our curiosity, our willingness to be alive and be present, to give us the buoyancy to float above what has been true. And that feels very sacred, and it feels quite intense, as well as a calling. It is calling us to the awareness, what lies beyond what we see. What is the truth of what we're looking at, and what are we being pulled towards? And then my eye goes there to this idea, or this representation we have of creation, the creation or the movement between God and man, or God and woman, that sparks divinity on earth. So very much being called to the wonderment, to the joy and the absolute abandon of our spiritual selves, wishing to be expressed, wishing to know more, wishing to go higher to the light, so that we can truly absorb new ideas, new discoveries, and allow them to filter into our bodies, so we can shift the emotions we feel about so many things, right? We have all these emotions tied up inside of us that make us feel like we're powerless. And by swimming up to the light, by acknowledging that all of this exists, we're given the ability to receive this information, let it follow through our body as we begin to take action towards a more creative way of living, a more active, curious, joyful way of being in the world, even though stuff around us may not look that pretty. So that's the start. And the card number 2 is another card that has shown up quite a lot, and this is the 34. And it's very interesting because we started off with the 3 and the greens, and now we go deeper into the greens. So the awareness of going into the light. And Soul Portal 34, for me, this is that deepening when we're willing to go into the light, when we're willing to go. And when I say to the light, I mean to the awareness of knowing all of who we are, and to uh, look at the fears that we have, the resistance, the beliefs that have kind of kept us trapped. Now we're raising up to that, and now we move towards, excuse me, we move towards this energy, this truth, this path that is verdant and green, but it's green because there's promise. The promise of our own experience awaits us. And you'll notice that this also has a fire in it, which is fascinating. Water and fire here too, and a little bit of yellow right there. So really interesting. And we have an owl and a cat and a snake, all these different symbols of uh, opening us up to the mysteries, what lies beneath, the wisdom of the universe, the wisdom of the earth, um, the promise of who we can be. So this is a developmental stage where we're entering a stage of deeper exploration, and we're exploring beyond just the idea, I want this, I'm not happy with that, but we're actually going into the depth of what the landscape looks like when we travel towards it. 34, of course, here is a 7, which speaks to the numbers of this month. The 4 of the year, the 3 of March, which makes 7. 34 is a very powerful and potent number. And then the third card, well, that's so interesting. Number 21, which is another 3. So we started off with a 3, which is this idea of swimming up to the light. And in some sense, you can think about after you've swum up to the light, to the willingness to see more, to expand your third eye, your vision, your understanding, your connection to the divine. And you're walking into this place that is allowing you to see beyond what you've seen, to explore the parts of you that maybe you have hidden or been uncomfortable with, your emotion, your expressions of desire, your feelings around things, the things you'd like to say that you haven't, like this expansion of your own being. And then this moment of stillness where we can go into the cave of our truth. And again, this also speaks to the light, the energy of the light. And here we have the Pegasus, the idea of us coming to the wisdom, to finding the wisdom of who we are, the sage within us, right? The wise person within us that is calling us to this place, to our sacred cave, to the sacred truth of who we are. The idea of being in ceremony with this, with the sacredness, with the wisdom, with the awareness. There's so much more to all of this. And what is the level that I want to receive this information at? There's also water and light here. And you could say that while there's no green in this, oh, actually there is, I think, a little bit of green, tiny here. This is part of the little Hermes uh, wisdom that has been passed down through the ages. The book of Hermes, which is the wisdom that we live by or try to live by or try to resurrect or connect to the alchemy of our truth, to finding the gold within us, the wholeness. And so this card celebrates that, the freedom to see the truth of who we are and to live by that truth. So not be deterred or not be put off or afraid to live what is true for us. It is still an exploration. There's still that energy of stillness, of allowing what is it true, what's true for me, what do I need to explore, what do I need to expand, what can I invite in, what can I release out into the world. so I can be more present to all the wisdom that is here for me, instead of being caught in these little pockets of, a partial truth or a hidden bit of information that makes me feel like I'm being oppressed or being pushed down by the energy and I can't see above. So this reading very much speaks to this idea of um, taking on the wisdom of a new role at this time, this week, really stepping into that sense of letting go, of surrender, surrendering up to opening up. What else is there? What do I need to know? Allow me to understand. And this symbol, the Triskelion, or there's different names for it, Triskel, the three-sided energy of our of all of who we are, the three pieces of how we live and how our world works. So swimming towards that so we can see the bigger picture, inviting that deeper exploration as we travel into the forest of our own imagination, our own curiosity, our subconscious, what lies beneath the conscious, the controlled piece. And then this idea of stepping into our wisdom, into the knowledge of who we are. A very, very powerful week here we're being drawn into. And just looking the numbers 373, again, the freedom of our expression will bring us to our truth, the willingness to explore into the depth of it. And the yellows, well, the yellows kind of that starts us from our power, or what we believe. Are we being empowered? What's empowering us? What's taking away our power? Where are we giving it away? Where are we refusing to harness that power? The green taking us into our heart, just opening up the jewel of the heart, of the love, kind of bringing the thinking, the experience, so it may be experienced through the heart, through love, and then allowing that to take us up towards the throat, the blue, the chakra of the throat chakra, where we can now speak our truth and question things so we can have a greater sense of truth. So that's the reading for this week. I'd love to hear what you saw or experienced looking at these soul portals. And of course, if you'd like to buy your own pack of Illuminating Journey Cards, they're available at jendushen.com/illuminating journey cards. And yes, come check me out on my website, connect with me, like and subscribe if you're interested in more of these videos. And as always, remember to follow the curiosity and wisdom of your heart. And I'll see you next time.